morning. It is today. Hello to all. Thank you if you watched yesterday, and thank you for being your beautiful self. It's Valentine's Day. It's a day where we celebrate love. I like to look at it as just unconditional love that we all share together, and there's different levels of that type of love, but I digress. Yesterday, I spoke about emotional vulnerability, and I said today I would speak about vision. So, vision, imagination, they're one and the same, right? So, I've recently been looking into Neville Goddard, and I've been reading some of his books. I got a collection of his books. I'd highly recommend it if you feel so called. But a lot of his work is on imagination and what imagination really is. And so imagination, vision. In life, I think it's very important to have a compelling vision that ignites emotion within you, that calls you forward and inspires you to action. This is different than motivation. Motivation is holding something over yourself, saying, I need to do this or else this will happen, kind of thing. That's how I feel motivation to be. And for me, motivation has never worked for me, ever in my life. If I don't feel inspired to do something, it's hard for me to do. And I feel like anything, there is an ease to something when you're creating it through inspiration. There's an ease to it. And though it might be like what we call a lot of work or hard work, it is still is like an ease, because there's just so much passion and momentum behind it that it's just without a question, this is just what's being done. That's what I feel inspiration is for me. So about having a vision. Okay, so you have a vision, you go into imagination, and we think we create the vision. I don't want to get into whether we create it, whether we conjure it, or it is a gift. I think all desire is a gift. So if you have a vision, an imaginative vision of a desire, that really ignites your passion, really ignites your fire, you're like, yes, yes, yes. And when you release all doubt about its ability to come to fruition, it's like you don't need to know the whole plan of how the seed of an idea sprouts, makes its way through the dark, damp soil, and eventually gets the sunlight and blossoms. You don't need to know that whole plan. You just know that the seed is there, you're making the conditions right, and it's here, it's coming. So one thing that drives me every day in the morning is having a vision that I line up with in the morning. Now, by line up, I mean feel my way into the reality of something that I cannot see, hear, smell, taste, or touch, but I can see it in my mind's eye. I can see it and I can feel it. And I feel it as if it were already so. And I be with that, and then I go about my day. And I, move with the tides of the day. However, I keep that basis of inspiration alive within me. And I think what has tripped me up a lot in the past is wanting a physical manifestation, wanting to see, hear, smell, taste, or touch something as evidence, but it's like faith, If you when you know God, you don't necessarily always go asking for, let me see it. Let me see, show me the money type of attitude. A lot of times we get in that show me the money attitude when, it's more like feel for the money, know that it's there, and accept it. And by money, I mean grace. By money, I mean the infinite wellspring of ideas and inspiration within you. So, to me, having a vision is something that I have been consciously awakening within myself, because I can feel how, a couple of years ago, a vision that I have started as a tiny seed, and the more that I am feeling into it, the more that it is coming alive in my awareness. And the more that you have that, the more you'll have things, tangible things to share with other people as proof. But it's not proof to you. When you're the dreamer, when you're dreaming it into existence, when you're imagining it, it's not that you need the physical proof. You already know. To me, it's already done. It's just about watching it unfold. Waiting for y'all to see it, as Will Smith said. Vision is not something behind us that pushes us onward. Vision is something so big, so, I don't want to say out there, because it's all within you. However, vision is something that's ahead of you, ahead of your experience in time, that is pulling you forward from the core of your being, is pulling you forward. And you can feel it. And it might not make sense. The way you feel pulled might not make complete sense at first to you until you really get into that feeling. And now, as far as others around you, it's so important to not base our behaviors off of the feelings of other people. And I think this could be hard for some people to grasp. You care about people, you love people, and sometimes loving somebody is seeing the best in them no matter what they're showing you. In fact, all the time, loving somebody is seeing somebody for who they really are, the absolute best version of themselves, no matter what they're presenting to you at the time. So, loving somebody is believing in who they really are, and not buying the fact that they're presenting limitation to you. It's also believing in yourself. Don't believe in your limitations. Don't argue for your limitations. Argue for your ability. Argue for your limitlessness. Argue for the vastness of your imagination and the clarity of your vision, the clarity of your mind. And this is another thing I dove into last night heavily. I was shared an article from a friend that was it was called 5 Stages of Success. And to me, it helps me keep mental organization of what is actually taking place. It is very easy to get lost in an idea without getting action, tangible action that helps momentum, tires on the ground, movement forward. And that's what I was reading yesterday and meditating upon was getting that starting traction. Not staying in step 1 of dreaming this idea in just imagination. I forgot what they called it, but it's the state. It's the non-physical idea state. You know, there's a time for any great idea in which the non-physical bridges with the physical. And what is the bridge? Thought and action. Aligned thought and action. Now, your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions must be in alignment. And don't get me wrong, I am not preaching to anybody. However, I am just learning as I go, and I feel compelled to share. So, take what you will. We are all the same. We are all having this experience together in one way or another, whether you see it or not. And so I'm not preaching. I'm sharing my experience. It's something that I work on every day, all the time, every moment. It's being in alignment with who I am inside and letting my actions reflect that. It's inevitable. When you line up with something that is within you, your physical experience will reflect it. So, what this article that I read has helped me to achieve, which I'm going to keep reading it every day, but it's helping me to see the path towards mental organization and clarity surrounding the manifestation of this big idea. So I'll share more about this idea as it rolls on. Today I wanted to talk about vision and how having a vision versus not having a vision can make all the difference in your life. It can bring you from depression to ecstatic joy and anywhere in between. And like Albert Einstein said, logic will take you from A to B. Side note, logic is very important. It's important to take logical steps because we do live in a logical, tangible world. But imagination will take you everywhere. Vision. Part of vision is how you view yourself. Actually, all of this vision really is not about imagining something taking place around you as much as it's imagining how you see yourself as your best self. And then realizing that what you're doing and what is taking place around you is indicative, is reflective of that self that you have become. So it's not that we ever change things around us. We change who we are, and the world around us shifts with us. So thank you for listening, if you listened, and thank you for being alive and breathing with me this chilly day. I love the feeling of going outside and breathing in cold, crisp air. It's just so invigorating. It's so challenging in a way that it is just refreshing and stimulating. So blessings, and I will continue as I feel so called.